Yeah, let's,
Sorry.
Oh, wait, you used all that.
I was starting to swallow and it hit me.
I'll do a false start. Yeah, definitely.
Anyways.
Let me...
You good?
Yep, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I'm wet.
Welcome.
Hi, Wet, I'm Dad.
Welcome to Regan's Rants and Raves. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Ellie, and today we'll be breaking down, bitching about, overanalyzing 2013's Evil Dead. If you haven't seen this movie yet, then you can eat shit, because we're talking about it anyways. So sit down, relax, and enjoy this unfiltered and downright horrifying talk on Evil Dead 2013. Still, all hail Bruce Campbell. What the fuck did you do while I was turned around reading that?
I spilled. That's
He
what I
said,
meant when I
I'm
said
wet,
I'm wet.
and
yeah.
then I said, hi, Wet, I'm Dad, and then you flipped me off.
You know, I've still got that drinking problem. I spilled water on my shirt.
That's not the type of drinking problem I would assume when I hear drinking problem.
Hello,
but...
my name is Ellie. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
There we go.
It's been a few episodes since we've done that.
No, it's been since the Evil Dead one that we fucking did that.
Yeah.
Since, like, the OG. Because we didn't do that. We didn't do that one.
You mean Child's Play, the very first?
No, I did that in, I can't review, okay, never mind. I did that for Midsummer.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I think I make it forced now at this point. I think so. I don't know. You're going to have to actually fact check me on that one, because I don't remember what I say 5 minutes prior.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
missed the Midsummer review because I was dying. I'm so sorry.
I know.
You
I
suck.
have no real thoughts on that film, though.
You were.
It made me feel things, but I don't know what, and I don't really... Same with Crawl.
It's okay to
I
be
like
adrift
both.
in a sea of emotional vulnerability.
Anyways,
I like the face smack off the rock. That was cool, but...
so, thank you for Joel's review.
I can't
of
put
Midsummer.
that into the video. It's already uploaded.
That's my whole review. Face
Just
smack off
sneak
the
it
rock
in
was
there.
cool.
Nobody will notice.
Everything else I'm indifferent to, more or less.
Anyways, so, the remake, loosely, a
Very
loose
loosely.
term, remake.
I think it's a solid
Remake.
term. Yeah.
Requel.
I wouldn't say prequel.
Requel.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Requel?
Remake, sequel, kind of both.
A mix of a lot of things. I don't think it's a remake.
I call it a reboot. Like it retools certain things, but
I
doesn't
think it's
really...
a continuation onto the story.
You
Yeah,
think
like
so?
it continues the story. It pushes forward, but it reboots it for a more...
Because there are elements...
It's not 100% connected to the old ones, but
So
it's
a
not...
soft reboot.
Yeah.
Kind of like Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. Like, it's less Days of Future Past, because Days of Future Past incorporated the old stuff into the new.
Yeah.
Well, this one kind of does its own thing. It does its new thing without disregarding the old. Like, it doesn't bring the old into it entirely until the very, very end.
Well, I could write an entire novel on the terminology we should be using to describe this movie, but anyway.
I mean, if you're gonna bitch.
Yeah.
If you're gonna spill the tea, Alec,
It was
spill
recorded
it.
with cameras.
It's already been done.
There were actors. There was a set, I assume. There might have been locations.
Making a lot of assumptions.
I am. This could have all
Accurate
just been-
assumptions, but assumptions nonetheless.
I mean, none of that could be true. It could be Disney's The Lion King. They could have made it in a computer and just dumped it onto the world.
Oh.
Briefly
Anywho.
that, it sucked. Hated it.
Anyways,
Hate
we're not
it.
talking about the fucking Lion King.
We're
Joel.
not. I just want to let people know, like, if you haven't seen it, don't waste your
I
money.
hate you.
Evil Dead.
Shut the fuck up.
I will preach my message to the world.
You
All
said
hail
you're gonna
Walt
bitch,
Disney.
you know.
Go knock on doors. Hello, have you seen the Lion King yet?
Don't.
Hello.
It shits on Elton John's legacy. It shits on everyone's legacy. It makes me sad.
My name is Joel.
So anyway, Evil Dead 2013. I loved it.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Also, really
So-
enjoyed it.
I'm gonna gag you.
Why are you gonna gag me?
so as everybody kind of knows, whenever we record these podcasts, we obviously rewatch the movies.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us haven't seen it in so long. Like me, I haven't seen the movie in maybe 5 years because I didn't choose to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But I rewatched it last night,
Mm.
and I actually, so I'm going to change my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a grown-ass adult, and I can accept the fact that
that
my
you are-
opinions change.
That you were wrong before?
No. I don't
I
ever
was
say that I'm
extra
wrong.
right.
You were...
No, it's just that I watched it with a little bit of a different mindset because
Yeah.
I heard you guys kind of talk about it, and I'm like, well, let me get the idea of remake out of my head. Because typically, whenever you say horror remake, you're just like, oh, fuck. What the fuck am I going to see this time?
I mean, there's some good
You know what I
ones.
mean?
Very few, but
Very few good ones.
My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Silent Night, the holiday related ones outside of Halloween tend to be good, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have an entire argument about the remake of Halloween.
Oh my god, if we do a podcast on that, it'll be 6 hours, because I will
I'm gonna annihilate your ass.
we will have a fist fight by the end, because that is one of, like, the bottom 3 films I've ever seen in my life.
Love that about you. Anyways, so I did change my opinion, because all you guys kind of heard I was pretty passionate about disliking this movie.
Yeah.
And now I kind of don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was because, granted, I hadn't seen it in so fucking long.
Growth.
And I do remember, growth. Yeah. Really. I've seen a lot more movies since then. Again, I got the idea of remake just kind of obliterated out of my head.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's sit down, different eyes, different mindset, let's do this podcast correctly.
Yeah.
And just kind of go out of a blank slate. Try not to compare it that much to the original.
Yeah.
Even though that's all I wanted to do. You're not fucking Bruce Campbell. You're some lady in a dress.
Bruce Campbell can also be a lady in a dress.
I'd also be okay with that.
If you were a lady in a dress, I would, it would be fine. Yes, I would believe it.
I'm really okay with this.
But yeah, I had to kind of get that mindset out of my head that there really is no Ash, but there is, yeah. Ash lives in, like, 2 separate people.
Kind of, yeah. They split that sort of protagonist role into, like, it's kind of a red herring almost. Because you think it's going to be the brother David.
Because he's set up to be the Ash. You think, yeah.
I mean, he has a penis for one. Like,
he does have a penis. I did notice that.
I didn't see it. I'm not going to assume.
This isn't Midsummer.
Yeah.
Where we had to see it.
But then it does an old switcheroo at the end with Mia. So the protagonist role is definitely split in 2.
Yeah.
And I think it was done really, really well.
Now, do I like it? We'll get to that. But do I like it more than the original? No, I don't. But I do like it.
Yay!
Loosely like it.
Okay.
I don't hate it.
It's development.
And I know you really liked it. We'll get to you. But it's my time. It's
our time.
Man. It's my moment. But yeah, it was definitely a different experience when I kind of I have a huge high horse that I like to sit on.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so whenever I have this problem, like whenever I think something, I don't know, I have a really hard time changing my opinions because I'm so fucking hard-headed.
I've noticed.
And shut the fuck
same.
up.
So,
but
good
I tried to get that out of my head when I rewatched it, and I did enjoy myself.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you thought it was gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
I was expecting to like fist fight. Like I was expecting Halloween remake levels of fist fight, but I was expecting like.
No, I mean I still got my notes. I'm still ready to like. I'm still ready to like.
It's just it's gonna be like a solid shit instead of a wet shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like how dare you, and I just start sobbing and leaving.
I'll tolerate what you say. We won't.
Yeah.
You won't hit me. I won't hit Alec because I can't hit you.
So we still have. I'm trying to think of the similarities here, like just kind of like base level. Same name. 5 friends.
Yeah, the same basic stories there.
Same loose kind of.
Same setting.
Because it's this different story.
Yeah.
I'll disagree with you on that because this one, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to talk about it anyways. So Mia has a drug problem.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why they can't leave the cabin.
Yeah. And I love that because in the original,
there was no reason why.
When she comes back in the original, covered in like cuts and bruises, and they're like,
from tree rape.
What happened? She's like,
the woods are alive.
The woods are alive.
They're alive, Ashley.
They're like, all right, you're a crazy bitch.
No, because
don't ruin our vacation.
Even then, I'm like, all right, somebody could be out there. Like, this is definitely cause for alarm. At least in this one, when she comes back in, they're like, no, you're a recovering heroin addict. We know
you're
probably
shit. You're just trying to get us.
You're just trying to get us to take you back.
Yeah.
Cool it. I like that because it
Ash
makes
did try to take her away from the house. Though.
Yeah.
He did try to take Cheryl.
Eventually.
But he was like, all right, you really
The
want to
bridge is
go?
out. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it gives them a reason to stay longer and to be a little more believable, in all honesty, in that situation. Where
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
if we
can
were all
see that.
camping and Alec came in and was like, I was attacked by the woods and he's bleeding.
I don't know if I would believe that you were attacked by the woods, but I'd be believe you were
But
attacked
yeah,
by something.
we
We
get the
get-
fuck
oh,
out of
yeah.
there.
I'd be like, holy shit,
If
alright.
Alec
Or at
were
least
a
seek
heroine-
medical attention, like something. There needs to be like,
And that was also something that they worked on because one of the characters was a registered nurse.
mhm.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like,
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was the first to die. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there was an argument there.
Really.
Because how... By the way, everybody should watch the Dead Meat podcast, Dead Meat YouTube channel. I love it. I love it so much.
I
I'll put a
dig it.
link in the description.
How
We love you, James.
how he explained it was, so whenever you're possessed,
Mhm.
or you're kind of dead, right?
Yeah.
You kind of die. Like, your person dies.
Yeah,
because
like
that
person,
person is taken over. So would she really be the first fucking kill? Or would it be Mia?
Oh, Mia comes back.
Mia comes back.
Yeah.
Which is something I love that. Like, that
Yeah.
is...
So
I
does
don't
that
know.
negate the possession?
I
Then?
don't know. See, this was a weird little... Because I thought about it, because when I watched his YouTube video about it, I'm like, but rules, Evil Dead rules,
Hmm.
that we've stated, he stated, was once you've been possessed, that
Well,
body kind of dies off.
No. Because in his own words, if you get possessed and don't come back from it, because Ash gets possessed at numerous points in the first two movies,
Okay.
but he comes back.
Yeah.
So it's not. He doesn't really count that. I wouldn't really count that because
Was he possessed in the first movie?
Ash gets possessed in both. At least the second movie.
I know
I'm
in the
pretty
second
sure he
one,
gets
but I
possessed
didn't
at some point
remember
in the first one.
I don't
I
remember
think
the
in the
first one.
first movie.
Even still, Ash gets possessed at numerous points, and he comes back from it. So Mia being possessed and coming back from it, I would not
That's a
say that she
weird-
died.
It's a weird line.
It's a weird line. I would say that if you get possessed and you don't come back from it, like if you never come back, then you're dead. Your soul is gone. It's out. It's kaput. If you come back, then you're probably then that's
Yeah.
it's like flipping the time turner in Harry Potter.
It's
or whatever.
perfectly balanced, as
Yeah,
all things
that's all
should be.
things should be.
Yeah.
I do have one little thing. I feel like the dog, because wasn't the dog the first kill,
Yes.
technically?
Yes.
Would you
We
count
don't- we
that?
don't count dogs.
We-
Because
I do count dogs.
If
I think the
if we
horror
count
community counts dogs.
I will cry if we count the dog. Like, if we have to acknowledge that the dog is dead, I will. I like dogs too much.
I feel like we do count the dogs, though. Like, that is a thing. Like, in the horror community. Okay, so what was that with Will Smith? Like,
Oh, I Am Legend.
yeah.
Okay,
So that dog death, that counts.
it
That was
depends.
It was a huge...
plot point.
It
Yeah.
depends on the significance of the dog.
Yeah.
I
Like,
feel like this
Michael
dog
Myers-
is not that significant.
Michael
Like,
Myers
this
killing a
dog
dog and
existed
eating it
all
in
the time.
Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't really count. I'm like, all right.
you were
it was
raised for slaughter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was sad.
the dog
because
in I Am
dog.
Legend is
Ha.
a big deal. Like that's a
Monumental moment
that's
for
a
Will
ma-
Smith's character.
It's also a character. He's
Yeah.
one of the two lead characters in the film. Again, Halloween, the dog dying. You're like, okay, yeah, Michael Myers killed a dog. It's sad, but it's not on the same level as him.
It
you
was
know?
just added to show how far am I willing to go.
Mhm.
Kill a dog. And also, most killers start out with smaller, it's the power thing. So
I mean,
most
he ate
killers
the dog.
start out that way, is killing animals with,
I was talking about the original where he kills the dog halfway through and eats it.
Halloween.
Yeah.
in Halloween? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
In the remake, it's a rat that he kills at the beginning. That's.
Oh, that was a cat. Damn it.
No,
I haven't seen that, the remake in so long.
Let's watch it sometime. I will.
Anyways.
I will send you my review.
And
You
the
can
thing
read
with
my
the
thoughts.
dog, I feel like the dog was very useless to the story. They just added it just to make you, aw,
Yeah.
dog, aw, puppy.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see the point to Grandpa.
Grandpa.
That's what they called the dog, was
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Grandpa the dog. Yeah.
My
I-
grandpa's a dog.
I didn't see it, and anybody can argue that because I just don't remember there being a full, the significance of the dog.
Yeah. It existed only to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even still, whatever. I don't
But
care.
in a
either
way,
way.
we all exist only to die.
Thank you. Anyways.
Around me.
Jesus fucking Christ. So this actually got rated. It got rated R, where the other one was unrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, which really puzzles me. And it also kind of
That's-
how much the movie industry has changed and what we're willing to take in.
That's the big thing, is just that censors have changed so much
The
in the past
budget-
30 years.
The budget also changed astronomically.
Yeah.
Fucking changed.
I think that's also something to do with, I guess, the censorship and stuff, is that this one feels as much more fucked up and gory as it is.
Mm.
It's a lot more polished. It's a lot more cinematic. The original one, it has that feel where you're like, oh yeah, I could be watching, like, home footage of these people fucking dying right now. Like, it's got that slight disconnect with the new one where you're like, yeah, this is a
The
film.
estimated budget was $17 million.
What would you do with $17 million?
What would I do for 17
Buy
million?
17 million goats.
Yeah.
A
Anyways.
lot.
You think you can go for $1?
You can't get, unless
Or
you
is
get
that like the
whole,
bulk price?
if you're getting like wholesale ass goat, that's gonna be some like, that's gonna be some dead. You're getting dead goat. Those are a lot of dead and diseased goats. You're maybe getting like
Opening weekend, they made an estimated of $25 million.
Nice.
Opening weekend.
Just a solid
25 million goats, according to Ellie.
That's 25 million goats.
A lot of dead and
I don't know
diseased
how much goats are, but
Yeah.
you know,
More than
fuck
$1.
you.
I can't walk into the Dollar Tree and get a goat.
Cumulative worldwide gross was $97 million.
Nice. So it was very successful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people went to go fucking see this movie back in 2013.
It was
And I'm
rad.
glad.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we kind of go around and talk shit?
I dig it.
So 15 minutes in, we're finally like giving our general thoughts on it.
We've
Yeah.
got a lot of goat talk.
Yeah, I want to go talk. It's fine.
Yeah, it was just go talk.
Goat talk.
Joel?
Fine seeing duck. Yeah.
I dig it. I honestly, I like this one. As a film, like, just as on its own in terms of
Your pauses are my favorite.
not what went into. That's because I'm really scared of saying anything that might offend you, because I don't want to be thrown off this podcast. I like you guys. Or
I hate
beaten
you.
with a stick. I would. Neither of those sound enjoyable.
I think I'd beat you with a stick over kicking you off the podcast.
You're right, because I tend to bring a lot of.
I'm also supposed to get views if I don't hit you with a stick.
I bring
Yeah.
contrary opinions, so it creates a lot of tension.
Anyways,
I really like this one more than the original. I think just a little bit as a film. Like,
you're really gonna have to back up your stick.
if you include what went into the first one, if you watched the last podcast to the end and you saw it,
Yeah.
if you count the effort that went into the first one, the amount of things they did to make that film,
Mhm.
then yeah, that's an accomplishment. That is on high.
Yeah.
But just in terms of what's on screen, the film itself, I kind of like this one a little more. Not as much as 2 or 3, but a little more than 1.
Okay. So like, I hate you.
I'm aware. I've been aware.
But that's
That was
okay.
the first thing you ever said to me when we met.
I know, but I hate you.
Yes.
Anyways, Alec.
So you now tolerate the movie,
Mhm.
as where you used to like vehemently hate it.
Because I have such a big love for
You're
the
traditionalist.
original.
Yeah.
She freaked out at IHOP once, a Waffle House over it once. I was scared. Like, we were talking about
That's
it.
like the first time you guys met.
No, it was one of the other times at Waffle House. We were sitting at
okay.
the one on Edwin Miller.
Those famous Waffle House meetings we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was genuinely worried for my life.
Because Nick and I were talking, we got on the topic of remakes, and this
Yeah.
one got brought up, and I got very passionate.
And I
Mostly
was
because of the
scared.
fact that Evil Dead is such a huge thing for me as a whole, and so, again, I had the remake complex of, no, fuck you, don't touch this movie, don't look at this movie, don't even breathe about
How
this
dare
movie.
you stand?
How dare
where
you
he
stand where
stood.
he stood?
Okay, so you now tolerate the movie.
Mhm.
You went in with a different context, a different framework. And you like the movie. You've always liked the movie a little bit more.
Oh,
than
I've
the original.
always. I don't know if I've always liked it more than the original, but I've always liked it. Like, ever since I saw it.
So
I was scared when it first came out.
Yeah.
Before it came out.
You get scared, right?
Well,
Because you're touching this baby.
when they announced it with that, I don't like a lot of the posters for this film. I will openly admit the posters for this one kind of fucking suck.
What, her doing the same pose?
No,
kinda
that,
the same
that,
pose.
which
that
happens
poster's
in the movie.
fine, I guess. No, I'm talking like the one poster they have where it's just her from the back, and it's got that big blocky
Oh,
text. The scariest movie you'll ever. It's
The
the same poster
scariest
as
movie you'll ever see, and I'm like,
goriest, maybe. It's the same poster as the Carrie remake, as the Social Network.
probably says the same thing. The scariest movie you'll ever see, Mean Girls.
Every fucking movie at that time had that poster where it was either somebody from the back or somebody's face, and it was just this big blocky text. I didn't like that. I was very apprehensive about the remake. But then when I finally saw it, I was like, I like that. I really like
It's
that.
really good when you go into something with low expectations.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Lion King.
So you not tolerate it. You like it.
I like it. I really like it. I dig it.
I have always loved this remake. I like the original movie, but as a movie itself, I think that the remake is better in several big ways, which I'd be happy to get into if you promise not to hit me.
I will. I'll hit him for you if you want.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm closer to him.
I've got people for that now.
I didn't sign that waiver.
I haven't signed any waivers actually. Now that I think about it.
So we touched on the added story
Mhm.
that helps contextualize a lot of decisions made by the characters.
Mhm.
It also helps contextualize the actual events of the story. Like, she is a drug addict, she's going through withdrawal. It adds a layer of, is this actually happening, or is this all just from the perspective of a narrator that you can't trust because of drug withdrawal? So that's the big thing, the big change that I loved was just the story actually has more going for it. And then the other big thing that I love is that there's actually more characters in this one. There's still 5 people, but I think there was only one character in the original movie, and that was Ash. Everyone else served a purpose for the plot. Whereas in this one, kind of, yeah.
Like the dog.
Yeah, like the
Or
dog
like
in this one.
us.
Grandpa. Rest in peace, Grandpa. But I feel like every other character in this movie was actually written with more layers, with actual characterization. You have no idea what any of the characters in the original movie do outside of that cabin, like when they're not on vacation in the woods.
One of them goes to what's that one?
Michigan
college?
State.
Yeah, Michigan State.
One of them.
One of them.
Which one?
Their girlfriend.
One of the chicks.
Okay.
There's
What does
3
Ash
chicks.
do?
I don't.
I
He
don't know.
works at
Exactly.
S-Mart. Shop smart.
Actually, yeah, he
Shop
fucking
S-Mart.
does.
But we don't learn that
Did
until
he?
the...
No.
Yeah,
So.
no. But in this new one, you know that David, who is like our Ash Red Herring for most of the movie, works in a garage. His sister's a drug addict.
Oh, he abandoned.
Yes.
Who isn't?
Who would?
Okay. You okay? Eric is a school teacher.
Who's an idiot?
Yes.
Don't
Definitely
read
an
this out loud. Let me read
Let
this
me
out
read it out
loud.
loud, yeah. Let me go through a lot of steps so that I can specifically read it out loud.
Because I'm a fucking dick.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here right now and I'm angry, so let's just take down the
Curiosity.
rest of the
Yeah.
fucking...
And
Kill a cabin full of people.
one of the other
Because
characters...
this one dude being a fucking moron,
3
a bunch
times.
of people died.
3 times Curiosity killed a cabin full of people. And once it sent somebody back in time.
One of the other characters is a registered nurse, and the only character in that movie who I don't know about their life outside of the movie is David's girlfriend.
Shaquille O'Neal. I don't remember what her name is.
Yeah. All I know is that all of the characters, like the first letter of their name spells out demon.
Yeah.
So
But, yeah, when they're...
Yeah.
Certain order.
so like one of them has to be like Evelyn or something.
So, like, when I first watched the movie, that's what I didn't understand. Because
Yeah.
it said, it was a remake of the original... Like, because everything kind of said that this is a remake.
Yeah.
Or remaking it. Then there was none of the remake, like...
Yeah.
Normal remake stuff. It's pretty much
It's
the
the
same
same
script, but
characters
you're...
and same story, just
Yeah.
done differently.
And then I heard an interview, Bruce Campbell was really hesitant on the movie because they were like, I don't want anybody else to play Ash. It's my role.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I think it was really wise that they didn't try to make anyone an Ash.
Because I feel like anybody would have been real I would have been
Yeah.
real mad. You'd have been real mad.
You could not. Yeah, you can't replace Ash.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-mm. No, you
And they
really
didn't.
can't.
They didn't.
And that was the big thing that I tried to get over that hurdle was like the whole reason why I liked the original was because of fucking Bruce Campbell's character.
even then, I don't really care for Bruce Campbell's character in the original. Like, I like him because he's Bruce Campbell.
But you don't get to love Ash until the sequels.
Yeah, Ash isn't Ash until 2 and Army of Darkness and Ash vs. the Evil Dead. In the first one, he's just...
Ashley.
He's Ashley. He's
For once in my life.
he's just a dude. Like, until the sequels, until they expanded on it, if it had just ended at the first one, nobody would give a shit about Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
It's the sequels
The
and
master
further they go that he starts really growing into his own and becoming Ash
Yeah.
that we know and love today.
You know, boomstick,
not
chainsaw hand. Yeah.
I will say though, yeah, nobody could replace him. Like, you can try and replace Chucky in Child's Play. You can try and replace Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street.
They did try.
They did
It
try.
didn't work out.
Failed.
Yeah.
Both times, I think they selected very good choices.
Oh god, yeah. Like,
But
But if you're not Robert Englund, I don't give a fuck.
even then,
There's
like,
also that.
you have
It was
the
the
makeup
script.
and you have all this other stuff that can kind of mask that, but
Still.
you can't replace
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce fucking Campbell.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that nobody really objected to was it.
Yeah.
Not that people wanted to replace Tim Curry, but the
But,
thing
like,
is that they were so different
Before it came out, like, it proved itself.
Yeah.
When it came
with the
out.
commercial. I think it was the commercial
The
that first
trailer
came out. It was
started-
like,
Well, that's because, like, the original, the TV miniseries, like, Tim Curry was the only thing he really had going
beep
for him.
beep Richie.
Yeah.
Hey, the kids are...
Aha,
I like
aha.
most of the kids. What's, not John Potato Thomas, the other one.
Seth Green.
No, the one
Seth Green. Seth
The
Green
tallest
was one
child,
of the fucking kids.
ironically.
Oh.
It wasn't ironic then, but it became ironic 20 years later.
Totally thought John Potato Thomas was dead. Who's the one from it that's dead? He's good in it.
Thank you.
I like all the kids in it. I don't... The rest of the movie's terrible. Before it came out, I remember seeing a hate for it. When they released the first image of Bill Skarsgård, I remember people being pissed. I was one of the few people who was like, yeah, I think it was good. I'm on full.
Because we really wanted that darker. It was really one of that darker, like.
And that's...
It's fucking terrifying.
I will give it to it. I do like in the original It that Pennywise looks less terrifying.
He looks more approachable. Like, you would
Yeah,
walk up to
that's-
him and with, here's a balloon.
The point of him being a clown is to
Georgie.
draw in kids and then kill them. So
I mean,
then,
and also,
the new
Tim
It...
fucking Curry. But
right
anyways,
off the
we're not
bat,
talking about it.
hey kid, doing... Okay, no.
But when we're talking about remakes,
Yeah.
that's why I
then
can't put this in the
always-
remake category. I think that's...
I guess I can understand where you're coming from then.
It's not the I don't think it's a remake
The
category.
changes are significant enough. Like,
There's way more...
Yeah.
It's also, the director himself has stated it's a continuation. Like,
Yeah.
sure, they're very similar events, but it's just... It's
Homages, if
supernatural.
you will,
The
to like
book-
the OG.
yeah. It's definitely full of that.
The
Yeah.
book causes certain things to happen over again. Deja
The
vu.
book just keeps
Yeah.
changing its look every
The
time.
book is
so-
fucking supernatural.
That's like the driving force of like the comics.
Yeah.
Is that it just keeps popping up in other universes. It's in different versions.
I mean,
Yeah.
the second movie is already partially a remake of the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not a super stickler for continuity in this series. It's not like Child's Play where you've got 30 years of build up and now make the new one. I'm like, that's a little disrespectful for them to. Yeah, okay, it's similar events taking place, and now we're doing
I
this.
mean, and also Sam Raimi and eventually Bruce Campbell gave it its...
Yeah, they
They
produced
got a
it.
producer credit.
Yeah.
They were all, at least I know Sam Raimi was a little more involved with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Than
but Bruce Campbell was very hesitant,
Their
from
original,
what I read.
their original plan before rights issues and stuff fell through was to do this, then Army of Darkness 2,
And it was going to be the two of them coming together.
and then they were
killing
going to
shit.
do a final film, like a final Evil Dead big. They destroy the neck, they win, they settle it all.
And it was
where
supposed to be the
both
two of them. Yeah,
come together and
two
do
leads.
the Avengers of the Evil Dead, and then rights issues fell through, and they made a TV show instead, and this just went nowhere.
I did not know that.
What changed my opinion on the movie, I think a lot of it was watching Charlie's reaction
Yeah.
to a completely different mindset. Because he didn't grow up with the same kind of love.
Yeah.
than I did.
Yeah.
He looked at it from an there was no backing there. Just looking at it at the next two movies.
Yeah.
Because he was like, this was astronomically better. And I'm like, what? And then we sat there and talked about it a little bit. Stop it. I don't think it's better. But I do think my hatred for it is not as strong as it was.
Yeah.
I can see, because I liked the gore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like when it was useless. When it was just to be like, you know what, fuck it, let's just...
I mean, the second one has useless gore. Like, the first one, not so much, but you can't tell me the amount of blood that sprays out of the hole that Ash shoots.
No, I'm saying that there is useless in the second... I'm talking about just the first two. Just talk about just the first one.
I can kind of get that. Like, when Mia, like, box cuts her tongue, that is kind of useless. It's kind of shock.
Fucking awesome, though.
It was awesome.
Fucking
It was an
awesome.
awesome scene. But the thing is
But
that it
really
was
serve
just
the
kind
story.
of useless.
Like,
Same thing with the dog.
I understand that.
Just
Whereas
cause.
in, like, the original movie, like, anytime there's, like, people getting hurt, it's because the story's moving forward.
It's because of this reason, or this reason, or this reason.
Yeah.
Not just because, fuck it.
Yeah, I understand that, even though it is awesome.
It is really awesome. It's an awesome visual.
Greatest fucking posters I've ever seen in my life, which
Yeah.
is just the tongue
Yeah.
split in the cap. I think it's a steelbook with that.
Also,
so bad.
just side note, rewatching this movie earlier this week, like yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, I had the perfect viewing partner for it. Very good friend of mine, very squeamish and skittish, and not really a horror fan.
She is one of the sweetest people.
Absolutely. If you could get this person as a friend of yours, you can consider your life blessed. And
you fucking showed her this fucking movie, and I
Yeah.
cannot believe you.
Oh, it was brilliant.
It's almost been like, hey, Mormon, come here, let's watch The Exorcist together. Fuck it.
Like, when we got to, she
It's
was
like
screaming
showing-
and crying throughout the whole movie, but when we got to the tongue scene, as soon as that box cutter went, she was like, oh my god!
See, I don't get like that anymore, which is kind
Yeah.
of sad. But I don't get like that anymore, mostly because Saw.
You've seen a lot.
I've
You've
seen it.
supposed to, yeah.
Even then, splitting the tongue, like, Saw does some fucked up shit.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this stuff wasn't neat
But
to look at, but I'm just saying that some of
that
it was
goes
kind of...
that goes a step
Why?
further. Like, just the full-on showing it the entire time and then just seeing it split. That goes a step further than anything they did in any of the Saw films.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like how we cut off an arm. So did Ash.
A lot of it was visually appealing in the movie.
Yeah.
I will give it that. But I
It was a
also,
very
the reason
rough
why I
shot.
liked the original the most is because it looked so
It-
real.
It's
Almost.
Like, I don't know if I agree or disagree with you there. It's kind of both. Like, both of the movies use extensive prosthetics and makeup.
Mhm.
It's different approaches, though.
Yeah.
Like, and
One of
it's
them's
also
definitely
different-
modernized. You can definitely tell which one had a bigger budget.
Yeah, and it's also different talent behind it, too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what makeup artist Sam Raimi could get his hands on back in the 70s. But like, you know, a lot of that, like, especially when he pulls the girl out of the fireplace in the original, like, it just looks like a papier-mâché mask.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the best effect in the movie, but that was like a lot of the approach in that movie was just slap on anything you can, make it look really fucked up.
And it worked. That's the thing. Is that
It does work.
looked really fucked up.
It does work because they're not like zombies in the movie. They're deadites. They're demons.
Yeah.
They're possessed, and it like destroys their bodies. And it's the same thing in this one, but it is a much more modern, much more realistic approach. It's
With the amount of budget that they have, the dog, when he's holding it, looked so beyond fake.
yeah.
I was cringing in my seat. It
Which
was
is really
like-
weird because like when he dragged it out of the hole,
It didn't look that way. And then he got it close to his face, and then you could compare the two, and I'm like,
What happened?
oh.
It
Yeah.
didn't look half as bad as the baby from American Sniper, though. So it's passable in my opinion.
Oh yeah, like he
I
wasn't
hate you.
just trying to like rock its leg with his hand on camera.
But anyways, that was a big like, you had a huge budget. We couldn't It was so close to your face. Now, if it would have been stayed down in the hole,
Yeah.
that'd have been a different story.
Well,
Then you wouldn't have seen it that
Put
well.
all our money towards the blood rain. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to spend all that fucking money on the blood rain.
What are the figures on that? It's like 70,000 gallons of fake blood were used in this movie, 50,000 of which were used for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blood Rain is awesome. Though. Like, just
It's-
Blood Rain is
it
awesome.
looks
Raining Blood is an
visually
amazing
neat.
song. Anything that homages that is.
I hate it.
Like, as soon as it starts up, I hear Slayer in my head.
Have you ever tried to play that on Guitar Hero on Expert? It's fucking impossible. It's the hardest thing. Like it makes Through the Fire and Flames look like Slow Ride.
So what makes you guys think this is kind of in the same universe? Like, do we think that this is the same cabin? Like, this is the same cabin. At least in my opinion, this is the same cabin.
So you guys are kind of changing my perspective on that because this whole, up until now, I was thinking just remake. But you guys have put a different perspective on it for me, so I don't know if it's strictly the same universe. It can still be a continuation of the story.
But it has to be the same fucking cabin. That's the reason why this is all happening.
But in a different universe, I think.
Maybe.
Like, because there's also that added prologue.
There's
back
also
in-
Groovy at the very end of the movie.
Groovy.
Anybody who hasn't
Bruce
seen it,
Campbell's
Bruce
in it.
Campbell comes back at the very last, like at the very
After
end
the
of
credits, yeah.
and whips his head, like, says Groovy, and then whips his head around.
Yeah.
And that's
Jump
it.
scare sound happens too. That's a little weird, but I dig it.
I wish
Yeah.
he would have had a bigger cameo if he were going to do it, but still. I'm glad he at least gave it almost his little...
Yeah.
His stamp.
Him
That was for the
showing up
fans.
is
It was
Yeah.
definitely for... It was
And
definitely
also,
for us.
you mentioned, like, they had plans to
To
like, connect the two.
connect
Yeah.
the two.
Maybe.
Again, there was an interview where the director specifically said, he was like, yeah, it's the same events, more or less. It's
Yeah.
kids going to this cabin, and the book wreaks havoc, and it's deja vu because the book wills it.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it makes sense to me. If the book can send Ash back in time,
Yeah.
and the classic back in time,
Mhm.
if the book can change that, if it can do that ludicrous shit, I don't see why it couldn't just...
I mean,
who knows? This could be... The original and this could be two things that we see,
Mhm.
and there's fucking 500 other times this happened, and the book just really likes killing 5 kids in this cabin every 20 years.
so whenever they pull back the carpet,
Yeah.
you see that blood there, and it's almost the same blood pattern as when they did it to Cheryl.
Really?
So, you can either think of it as, oh, it's when they dragged the other girl at the very beginning of the movie,
Yeah,
they
that
dragged
had
some
the
other girl down
prologue,
there,
yeah.
and then light her on fire, and do the whole thing, which I don't understand why that scene was added, because she doesn't ever come back.
Yeah.
We don't ever
I mean,
see her again.
Fucking
I
head
mean-
gets blown off, and it's a good head explosion.
I always thought
It's a cool
that
head
scene
explosion.
was to add context as to why all that shit is in the basement.
But we already, as soon as you added the Evil Dead,
Yeah.
we already know
But, like,
that we're in
I mean,
for something.
there are also plenty of people who haven't seen the original Evil Dead who
That's
would go
their
into
fault.
this and not.
Don't watch a movie that says Evil Dead on it without fucking seeing the original.
It was also, I don't know, it wasn't advertised as being a sequel to the Evil Dead.
As soon as you... It's the same fucking name.
That's my point. Like, it's not advertised as being...
You can make that
We're in
connection.
a world
These people
where-
are not that dumb.
We're in a
I
world-
promise.
Whoa.
average movie-going audience who's not super into horror, especially in a time where remakes are super prevalent, where you have Carrie, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Black Christmas. Should I go on?
No.
Where you
God,
have all
please
of
stop.
these that are not connected to the originals and going, oh, cool, Evil Dead. I think there was one of those 30 years ago. Let's go see it.
I saw that on my dad's VHS collection.
Yeah. To have that extra context, and it gives
But the
you a
thing is,
cool
that context
fucking head
wasn't
explosion.
even... The thing is, it's useless. It doesn't come back in any moment in time, in any of the rest of the story. The cats could have been explained by any... fucking, that could have been anything.
It doesn't
I just don't
waste-
think it's...
It doesn't waste enough screen time for me to be upset. It's not like it spends
But what did it do?
10 minutes doing nothing. It's not like the dung rolling scene in the Jungle Book where they just roll
It's
dung for 4 minutes
fine.
and you go, it's nothing. There's no point to this. At least it's
I think
quick.
it was in The Lion King, not the Jungle Book.
Yeah, that one.
Thank you.
It gives you a cool kill right off the bat. It sets up what's going on. It establishes things. It's just very quick, very easy. It doesn't... Did it need to be there? Not particularly.
Well,
But
you could have added maybe something to tie the two in together, maybe with,
fact
you know...
it's there is fine.
Maybe
Yeah, but
showed clips of the OG.
If you put Ash in the beginning...
Well, there were audio cameos.
There were.
Yeah.
But
That's
nobody else
also
would have
why.
picked that up unless you were looking through the fucking... You're
if
like, oh.
you put Ash in the beginning and then don't have him through the rest, people are pissed off. If you put him at the very end as a stinger, it's like, oh, that's fun, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
then you get a
nice.
cheering audience.
I just didn't understand the beginning. I just did not understand it. I
I-
feel
I-
like we
I-
didn't really need it.
I can understand that. You could cut that out and you still have the same movie. Like, I see where you're
But
coming
it
from.
being there
I
just
don't like
hurt me.
useless.
Yeah.
Just for...
I don't know why you
shits and
keep me
giggles.
around then. No,
I don't know
Why
why.
do you keep me around?
Because I hate you. But anyways, so
That's the
do
opposite
we think
why
this is
you
an,
keep people around.
like, how does it play into being the same universe? Do we think...
I think it's comics law. Like, it's just a different universe, different timeline, different book.
I think it falls falls within the same timeline, just this amount of, 2013 years, that long time later.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's a little bit of both, where the book... It could be either. It's just the book. I don't need more explanation than that. The book does as the book wants. The book is God. It will change the universe as it sees fit to do whatever it wants. And I dig it.
Yeah. I mean, we can definitely tell this is not the OG cabin. You can tell by the first look at the cabin, it's not.
It's
at
not
all.
identical
Yes.
to the OG.
Yeah, they pay people to actually build this cabin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Squatters aren't living here.
But
Yeah.
with that aside, I was trying to think about that while I was in the middle of watching this movie, and I'm like, I could definitely see how it could still all be in the same little thing.
Interconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know, lit.
Connected in kind of the same way that, like, Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane are. Not connected, but
Don't-
loosely.
Don't put Cloverfield Paradox in my okay.
I like... I don't hate that
no.
movie.
Oh no.
It's a very generic and average sci-fi. Look, I just like the very final shot. When Clover came out, I shit myself because I love Clover more than reasonably like any human should.
So,
It's that kind of deal, though. They're
so
just
Joel,
mildly
no.
connected.
Anyway.
So this movie does play to definitely a modern audience.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people nowadays are very bored with what, say, the original Evil Dead was, because you would have been bored if
Americans
you
have
showed...
really short attention spans. now.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we need to see gore. We need to see gore right now. We need to see fucking, as horrific as the gore was, we need to see it immediately.
Mhm.
Which, it was different, because I was watching his reaction and thinking about my reaction as being a big lover of the original movie, and it was very interesting about how different they were. Did you notice that with Angel? About how different the reactions were?
Well, I didn't get to watch the original with Angel.
So she's seeing it as a...
Yeah,
just seeing it as a movie.
Yeah, I just threw her right into the fucking deep end with this franchise.
That is a deep, deep.
That is a very deep, bloody end.
That's what she said, but
But I think so. You know that Angel's a very, very unique individual
Mhm.
to watch something like this with. So her reactions were very extreme and very just fucking reactive.
Because he was pretty captivated by it
yeah, and
and liked it.
yeah,
But I, as, you know, this is Evil Dead. You're fucking with Evil Dead. You know, sitting there, just kind of, our
Yeah.
reactions were definitely way different.
yeah.
And so, that also, you know,
I watched
My
it
burden.
alone off my ass on a lot of pain medication, so I have a very different reaction.
good. But,
Just Angel cried a lot and screamed a lot. Yeah,
as she should.
it was fantastic.
I love
It was
that.
amazing.
I love going to see horror movies with people, especially if I've seen it already, and
Oh, you-
watching them the
Yeah.
entire time. Especially
Yeah.
when certain scenes come up that I know that are going to be there. I did that with him with the tongue split.
Yeah,
And just sat there and stared at him as he watched it.
yeah.
It's great. And then I did that with a couple of the scenes. The eye thing.
Yeah.
The pulling the needle out of the eye.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good
that
stuff.
was something. So what I think my favorite scene is I love Pit Bitch. Okay? So, like, in the original, how she's shaking it, I love Pit Bitch.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, that's my whole favorite thing. Like, Cheryl being down there.
Yeah.
And what they did with her, is her, like, peering her little eyes up and, like, shaking.
Yeah.
I love
that shot alone also made Angel freak out. Like, it wasn't
her,
even
like,
the
popping
violent...
up?
Yeah.
Oh.
When the girlfriend's about to slice her arm off. Yeah, just that quick zoom in on her.
But my favorite shot of, like, her being her Pit Bitch self is right after the tongue thing. Our Ash character lifts up, like, the top.
Yeah.
And she's down there. Come down here, pretty boy, so I can suck your little fucking cock.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, immediately my mind went Exorcist.
Yeah.
Because it's that
definitely.
violent. And so I was just like, I never thought about that before. I'm like, oh, just like Mia. And just like, Mia's not in here, you little shit. And it's just like that.
Your sister's being raped in hell.
Yeah.
Definitely Exorcist. Yeah.
Definitely fucking Exorcist.
Yeah. And it's all the better for it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite scene out of, like, the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because I liked it only because of The Exorcist. But, like, because that's what that reminded me of. Because when I think of brutal things you're going to say to your brother, asking him to suck his cock probably is the...
I don't think she was asking. That's not a word.
I think that was telling.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if you're in Alabama, that's just, like, a Tuesday. But...
Was that where this was? Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like...
Although,
Depending on where you're at,
I mean,
it's not that
Tennessee, maybe.
fucked up of a sentence.
But actually, I think that kind of highlights something else. Because, like, in the beginning of the movie, when they're introducing the characters, it's kind of hard to miss. It's kind of easy to miss initially that Mia and David are brother and sister. Like, I was watching this with Angel, and I had to tell her they're related.
But they do mention mom.
They do.
Like,
They do talk about it. They do, in, like, you get into that scene, but, like, that initial interaction with them, there's a kind of subtext there. Because Angel thought that they were maybe romantically involved before I told her that they're brother and sister. It's probably not in the writing, but the way
Just
that
in the chemistry.
the chemistry between the actors was there in that first scene.
yeah.
So I don't know if that was an intentional thing.
To kind of throw you off.
Yeah, that also kind of got highlighted with Mia in the cellar
Yeah.
later on.
I do like that they don't just spell it out, though.
Yeah.
Because it's always so fucking weird in a movie when it starts out and, hey, brother, how's it going, sister? Nobody talks like that. Nobody.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't walk up to my brother after an having seen him and go, hey, brother, how's it going? My brother
Like an American Dad.
from the same parents.
What are you talking about? I always call you Big Bro over the phone.
But yeah, it was definitely that scene that kind of, like, sealed a little deal of, like, alright, maybe.
Yeah.
Because, especially in the original, which the trailer for this movie really knew how to kind of throw you off as to what was going on. Because you hear the little song, because she'll sing it. Because it's not in the movie at all. Which I kind of really upset that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Another song. She sang another song, didn't she?
She did, but that was
Yeah.
useless and stupid.
Still.
I did not like that song. I understand why it was in there, but I didn't like hearing her sing it. I wanted to hear that song. Could you imagine if that was the one, like, that Mom used to rock us to sleep to this song, and it's fucking that? We're gonna get you. Like, Jesus. Kind of parents.
Ash. I mean, David, join us.
So, I kind of want to compare scenes.
Okay.
Tree rape.
Very different.
Very different.
Very different.
I liked the original better because I liked how realistic the trees
Like,
were.
they literally just
like,
found branches in
and
the
they
woods.
fucking attacked her with them.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a little bit scarier because it was so real. Not a lot of editing there.
Yeah.
No color,
It felt more like a real rape scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to
Which
me.
is something that, for a film like this, for a popcorn horror film, I don't think you can get away with as much in.
Yeah. Like, in the
Today.
2013 remake, if you did that, it'd be very exploitative.
Yeah. It would be something that would be harder to sell to a wide audience.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say this is why we love the original. It's because of that song. But
Because of the rape.
No. It's why it's one of the most memorable scenes of the OG.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was tree rape.
Sam Raimi himself has
Has
admitted that
said he regretted putting it in
probably wouldn't have done it if
Yeah.
he were making it even in the time he was making the second movie,
Yeah.
that he wouldn't have
kind of
done it,
regretted
so-
putting it in there, which I understand. It's a very
It's a hard scene.
rape's a really hard thing
Yeah.
to want to film.
Like
Even
there's
in a
It's
horror
very
movie,
sensitive
there
subject.
is there are lines.
there's a very
Why?
solid argument against ever using rape as a plot device anyway.
Rob
Which is
Zombie's
what it was.
Halloween,
Yeah.
the director's cut.
Yeah,
Oh.
we'll talk about that eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah. There's a reason you don't usually use
Yeah.
rape.
Yeah, so but it is a huge scene in both of these movies.
And I feel like they almost could have left it out of this one
Yeah.
if you take the remake out of it. If you
Mhm.
put remake into it, you couldn't have done it without the tree rape scene. That's one of the most iconic
Yeah.
moments from
that
the
hasn't
original.
changed anyone from leaving out very iconic things in other remakes.
I know. No, I understand that because of similar issue. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. This one was definitely horrific. Horror movie. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain this. It's definitely more horror movie.
Yeah.
It's way more horror movie than realistic rape, and I really wish I could explain that better, but I don't know
No,
how.
like it's framed very differently. It's set up very differently. It's shot very differently. It's all like it's still very brutal and horrific,
It is.
but it's not as voyeuristic, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Could
which the first
Angel
one really
tell
was.
what it was?
Oh, like she
He
actually
knew because he
Yeah.
knew. But
Angel, we were watching the movie. It happens pretty early on, probably earlier on in the remake than in the
I think
original.
so. There was a lot more fluff in the
Yeah.
original.
And the setup is much more like horror movie. Car crash into a swamp, crawling through, getting tangled up in branches and everything, and then this doppelganger appearing before you.
Mhm.
And then it's not a tree. It's like a collection of vines that
Like
she
coming out of
vomits out of her
said-
mouth.
That's
Yeah.
that girl, yeah.
And then it like winds around the leg and rape.
Yeah.
Angel was absolutely horrified and cried after the scene. And she was like, I knew it. As soon as the toaster leg, I knew it. She had no idea that it was, again, she hadn't seen the original.
Okay.
So
So
she didn't have that context.
Yeah. Because as soon as she starts to get tangled up, the
Mhm.
first time I'd seen it, I'm like, oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Here's where they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that kind of shock factor with
Mhm.
this. So other scenes that kind of compare to the original. I don't think there is one like that one
Yeah.
that is so I don't want to say cut and dry like the original. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not. But that is definitely taken from one thing to the other.
Yeah.
There are definitely nods. Chainsaw nods, like when the brother character, Ash character,
Yeah.
looks at the chainsaw and
And
then
then it pans up to,
it's just like, wow, no.
But
ah!
that's great just because it's set up and there's a payoff later.
Yeah, and then she she
machete?
uses it.
No, chainsaw. Yeah. Yeah, so, there are comparisons with this movie not only to the original, but also to the second movie. It's an homage to both movies.
The scene with the meat carver
Yeah.
in the kitchen
Yeah.
is a much more serious and not Three Stooges comedy
Yeah.
routine bit of Ash having to cut off his own hand.
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell just fighting himself.
It's
Yeah.
a very different scene, but it's got the setup and the inevitable payoff are more or less the same. All right, hand is infected, got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Got rid of hand.
Yeah.
And
The
it didn't
big
work.
difference is that, in this
Yeah.
one that it didn't work, and that it's much more
There is no comedy
serious
to this.
Yeah.
No.
Not
It's not
at
like the
all.
It
original
doesn't
Ash
let
is-
you breathe. It doesn't give you any sense of relief until the very end. Yeah.
It definitely
But it's great irony that the second one has relief all throughout, and the very end is just depressing.
Yeah.
yeah. It is definitely it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take
It's a
in.
harsh
This
movie.
which is good for a horror movie. You kind of want to not be able to breathe, almost, when you think about that. You want to be that uncomfortable. Granted, I'm not that uncomfortable by this movie, mostly because it's all a lot of different. That was very neat. I wasn't like.
See, now this
that was a really neat shot though, was the tongue split. But
this movie, I do love this movie, but in terms of like horror design and structuring your story around that, it's kind of the polar opposite of probably my all-time favorite horror movie, John Carpenter's The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing builds its horror entirely on building its tension and waiting to break the tension. In this movie, it doesn't really build too much tension and doesn't really hold it too much. But the way that it continues to break that tension every single time and how brutally it does so is magnificent, I think.
This is I kind of want to say a polished horror movie.
Yeah.
If that
Absolutely.
makes any sense.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah.
It was very visually appealing.
Yeah, it's much more technically complex than the original.
Yeah.
Like, just the opening shot is a vertigo zoom. Or dolly zoom.
Yeah.
Or Jaws zoom. Whatever you want to call it.
Vertigo.
Yeah, vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
Hitchcock. And it's a fantastic shot of this forest. And they do the same thing during the tree rape scene when the doppelganger shows up.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get those hugely complex shots in the original. Probably because they didn't have the equipment or could afford to do it. Not that Sam Raimi wasn't really creative with the shots that he created for the original.
I think that was like my big thing. Was like, wow, what he created with what he had is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then looking at this movie where you were getting $17 million and I'm finding problems.
Yeah.
That's just where my brain is when it comes to that.
I think that's also just like, I don't know, we want to find more problems in something that's a lot more polished. Like, we want to be a lot more forgiving towards something that's a passion project that has so little put into it.
Yeah. And I think that's what made it so beautiful was the original one, was just because it was a huge passion project. And the thing is, I can't get that out of my head when I'm looking at this one, and it doesn't have that.
And yeah, that's my point, is that we try to be, we are a lot more kind towards
the little movie that could.
Let's be honest, if the original Evil Dead or Clerks
come out,
if they were the exact same film,
came out now,
but they had fucking massive, even if they came out now, I think they'd still be.
I think there's a lot of different humor with the Kevin Smith. We'll talk about that.
If they had larger budgets put behind them, but were the exact same, they'd be shit.
Yeah.
Like, they would be, neither one of them would be good at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing because of what was put in them, and we are, because of that, a lot more forgiving towards them.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of things in the original Evil Dead or in Clerks that I'm like, yeah, in a larger film, I would be like, wow, that's kind of crap. But now I'm like, dude, for what they had, that's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. However, with something like Yoga Hosers, or even Clerks 2 to a degree, or the remake of The Evil Dead, with a larger budget, with more put into it, more people, more of all of that, when there are problems, we're a lot more quick to point them out and be like, yeah, I don't like that as much. That's worse. I feel like even if we don't consciously think that, at least I tend to be a lot more forgiving of things when there is more heart and soul but less money, as opposed to more money with probably just as much heart and soul, but not as much like blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much blood and tears.
So I'm trying to think of other similarities that happened, like death-wise, and I'm not thinking of any off the top of my head. The only things that really, really stick out to me was the tree rape, the chainsaw usage, the cutting off of the hand. I'm trying to think of
the original.
I liked
the eyeglass thing. I forgot about that. They kept that.
Yeah.
I think
they even did the skull thing on the ground with it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
They kept that because it was a big monumental part of the OG.
Yeah.
In the second one, Ash cuts his girlfriend's head in half.
Yep, right in half.
And
That, I
they
forgot
have
about
it-
that one. Yeah.
They have it in
At the-
silhouette and from like the side, so you can't really see it. 'cause
Yeah.
But
Sam
this, we
Raimi
get a
didn't wanna
full...
get brought up on obscenity charges.
The
At the-
abomination at the end, yeah.
And this one
And
is that
it
full
is.
payoff.
Absolutely incredible.
It's the same thing with like, I was talking to Nick about it last night. Saw, the reverse bear trap.
Oh,
In like
I
every
love
film,
that.
you see it fail, and then the very last one, you get to watch what it actually does, and it's fucking incredible.
Did they do
It's
that
the
to
same.
Amanda? They did that to Amanda, I think. Something?
In the first one, it was Amanda, but she gets out of it in time.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Tears her face open a little bit. I think it's the sixth one. It's the one cop who
Yeah,
jams his face in. They do it in like 3 or 4 of the films where somebody has it, but you never see. I think you see the aftermath of it at one
that
point.
prop
You
is
see
really
like a
fucking
skull,
expensive. I just want everyone to know that.
and then in the last movie you see it pay off, and then in the Evil Dead, it's the same thing. In the Evil Dead 2, you see him do the chainsaw, but it's from the sea. You don't actually
And you see
it
the book
happen.
close. At the very end of this fucking movie, the book closes.
Yeah, they couldn't destroy the book in this one.
No,
Like-
but I wonder if that is if that's how you were saying. We said this before in that Bruce Campbell doesn't want to do this anymore.
Mm.
He doesn't want to play this role anymore. I wonder if that was, we're done. Book closed.
Well, I mean, then they made the TV
Then
show.
they made the TV show.
Yeah, but still.
yeah,
but I'm
so
just
they-
saying, like, with the movies,
they
I
also
wonder if
had-
that was
They're planning
done.
to do another sequel to this one, a sequel to Evil Dead or Army of Darkness, and then
Yeah.
bridge them together. But get that payoff.
Yeah.
That fucking chainsaw.
Chainsaw
It's
was
the
neat.
coolest fucking thing in this whole fucking movie.
And I love that she couldn't ash her way out of her hand being pinned at the end. Like, she had to will
Oh, she just-
it. She had to Mia her way out of it.
And the
Pull
thing,
that motherfucker off.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it takes a lot if you were to actually do that, like cutting off your arm and stuff like that. That takes a lot of, like, piercing yourself. I don't know if anybody else has done that, but I've tried to do it before.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to push something like that through, and that's just a needle. That was just a needle in my nose.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I couldn't imagine having to put that force when because your body's first reaction is to
It's
pull
a
back.
self-preservation instinct, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie made this point last night, and
Like,
on top of
I
that,
always think about that.
But when you're in survival mode.
The adrenaline is
Yeah.
a different story, but also, still, as soon as that first thing goes in, it's the, oh my god. And
Yeah,
also, a meat slicer like that would not have cut through that.
Oh, no.
Not through the bone,
No,
no.
not that one.
Yeah.
No, but the end, well, even a chainsaw, like, a bone is a fucking...
A bone's a hefty.
That's one of my favorite
Pizza.
parts in 127 Hours, is when he cuts through his arm and he gets to the bone and realizes, I'm going to have to fucking break this. Like,
Yeah.
I can't cut through it.
Yeah.
Which is part of what I love about in The Evil Dead, when the car is on, you're like, alright, yeah, she wouldn't have been able to cut through it just to yank it, just go for it.
Like, it was definitely
I believe that
impossible. I don't know about believing, but it was definitely impossible, but it was absolutely
It was a
incredible.
very neat shot.
I
Yeah.
But
still buy,
again,
I buy that more than just hitting through with a chainsaw.
it's the same thing with the nail
To
gun.
be completely honest.
It was
That's
the same thing with the gas.
Yeah.
okay.
But the much more Hollywood effects in this one. Like, nail guns
Like
do
fire
not
in space.
fire like bullets. Like, if you fire a nail gun at open air, it's
So-
gonna go.
You've used one, right?
Yeah.
So you have to pull back a little thing. It's almost like you have to pull the safety back on a saw
Yeah.
to be able to use it like that.
Well,
it would have to be
see,
the same. It wouldn't have
All
fired
the
that
nail
way.
guns I have used, you gotta press it up against.
Yeah, so that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. You have to
that's
pull
nail.
that little thing back to get it to fire like that if you're going to shoot it off.
Let's
Yeah.
be honest. She could have capped that back with anything.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm willing to give it.
But-
It's cool enough. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief and go, yeah, it's.
But even so,
It's plausible.
just a gas-powered nail gun doesn't fire like that. It doesn't. They don't work like bullets.
And I don't know if that was a pinhead nod, her face,
Oh yeah,
but I thought about that, about Hellraiser.
it just looked cool. Yeah.
Yes. But that's what I thought. I don't know if that was another horror nod. It
Yeah.
could have been, because we've done that before, obviously, in this Evil Dead universe. They've nodded to other horror movies. I don't
Yeah.
know if that was trying to look... I don't know.
The
I'm probably
classic
just
isn't
reading
in
into
this
it,
one,
but-
it kind of is.
Huh?
The classic's not in this one, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of.
Like Evil Dead is always, shaking hands with other horror movies.
Yeah.
So,
I just don't know. It was the same thing. Okay, so we've all seen Chucky's Bride. Bride, Chucky. Whatever. Words. I love that movie just because of how campy it is. But anyways, they did that with John Ritter's character with the pinhead.
Yeah.
Well, that's what that kind of, my brain was like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Bride of Chucky also has like the scene in the police department.
Yeah, with
where
all
there's
props.
literally everything.
Yeah.
Ever.
Connects all the horror franchises together.
Kind of like the scene in Batman and Robin, where you see all of like the supervillain paraphernalia from the other ones.
Yeah.
In the prison.
Which is
Yeah.
neat.
So
Which is very, very
I
neat.
love that movie. I'm just
So,
saying, I love that movie.
Do we all have I talked about my favorite scene.
yeah.
Do you guys have your favorite scene?
I said it, the chainsaw to the fucking face. That is goddamn.
So the end. You like the ending?
I like
with
the ending
chainsaw
of it.
thing?
I like the raining blood. I like the just.
I don't think I can pick a favorite scene this time. Like, it was really easy with the original movie because that one scene I talked about stood out so much to me.
Mhm.
But in this one, like, I remember everything. They all stand out. That's the thing, is that they all stand out.
They
So,
do.
Yeah.
So you guys are a very. How many OG horror movies have you seen?
Probably not enough.
Not enough.
The
Yeah.
entirety of the Halloween franchise, the entirety of Nightmare on Elm Street, almost all the Friday the 13th. I refuse to watch Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell in their
So-
entirety.
I've seen the original Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Black Christmas, Evil Dead.
The first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. I haven't seen that. I've seen The Exorcist. So,
First three Child's Plays plus Bride of Chucky and parts of Seed of Chucky.
I don't know. I just feel like my OG love is a little bit different. I don't know. I just feel like it's harder for me to get past.
You're also
Frankenstein.
that's just every person has their different levels of how open they are to different interpretations of things. You admitted at the beginning of the episode you're very hard headed. It was real hard for you to let go and like see try to see things in a different way.
So like The Exorcist is my favorite horror movie.
Yeah,
Like by far.
I would have guessed from the title of our series.
With the title of this, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed just from the fact that like every podcast I've been in, it's been brought up at least once.
Yeah.
It is because it is my favorite. Like if they were to make another remake now,
Yeah.
I don't see myself being for it.
And I don't think they've ever tried to remake The Exorcist yet. Like there were some.
So we have Exorcist, not like pure.
Those are just catching on the title.
And then there's also the TV show that came out, but they didn't
yeah.
really. It wasn't like Linda Blair.
Yeah.
They've also got. I know they have a handful.
They
of
have
Exorcists,
sequels,
'cause
yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
box set of all of them, but
Yeah.
I don't remember how many.
I have the original poster
I've never
from
seen
the third
any.
one
Yeah.
in my garage right now.
Never
When that
seen any
came
of
out,
them.
like in the movie theater, like poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the third one, but I own it.
Never seen it. Never seen any.
So it's just in the same thing with Evil Dead. I love this movie. So again, it was just really hard for me to like get there.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
I got there with this. Winkety wink. Like I really dug this one. Like even as somebody who at the time, when I saw this one, for the first time, I wasn't the biggest Evil Dead fan. I'm still not. I love 2. I think it's a fucking blast. I love Army of Darkness. I think it's a fucking blast. I think 1's pretty darn good.
So I
I
know
adored this when I saw it. I was like, that's just fucking cool.
out of all the remakes that you've seen, what are your tell me like 2 favorites?
Like just,
Horror movie remakes.
wow.
Does this count? Because it's not technically. If we're counting this.
I think it kind of
Outside
maybe.
of this,
Yeah, this is
This
probably
is a
my
weird-
favorite horror remake.
It's a dance.
If I have to choose another one or 2 others,
2 others.
oh wow.
What are your 2
It's-
It.
Okay, still haven't seen it.
Not that I don't love the original, but I did. This one had a lot more fear factor
Yeah.
to it. Like it made you definitely very uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Chapter 2. And then
I'm waiting for Chapter 2 to watch Chapter 1.
I don't like a lot of remakes, so it's just kind of I don't know. That's a very
Like,
hard question for me.
Friday the 13th was shit. Nightmare on Elm Street was shit.
I like Friday the 13th because even though it's not great, I like Jason in it. He's fucking imposing and menacing. They don't do as many of like the fun kills where he's doing like crazy
He's
shit.
not a stalker. He's a trapper.
And I don't mind that, honestly. It's not great, but of the remakes, I think it's one of the more decent ones.
Yeah.
Not good, but decent. Not a remake. I really like The Thing from 2012, 11.
Really?
I do. The CG is terrible, and the ending is not great.
Like, I could live with terrible CGI if it weren't for the fact that they painted over incredible
The
practical
incredible
effects.
fucking effects. But the story itself, as somebody who's never seen John Carpenter's The Thing,
You are missing out.
I really like that one. Like,
What's your favorite horror movie again?
Halloween, the original Halloween.
Yeah.
It's my
Halloween,
second favorite movie, period.
John Carpenter's The Thing, Exorcist.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to watch The Thing. I own a copy. It was given to me a while ago. It's the Arrow video release, the Steelbook, from the UK, so it doesn't work here. And I don't want to shell out $35 for the US Scream release. So I'm kind of at an impasse until I either get a region-free player or just buckle up and buy the Scream release. I love both of those. Just because Scream and Arrow are
I hate you.
phenomenal. My Bloody Valentine 3D is really fun. It's not phenomenal, but neither is the original.
That's
honestly.
a hefty thing to just drop on a table.
I really like that one. Fucking Tom Atkins is in it.
Would you count this Psycho TV show?
Bates Motel. I hate Bates
Bates Motel? Would that count?
I
I
watched.
didn't- I'm just saying, does that
season
count
one.
as a remake?
That's a prequel.
No, they
The
do.
final
They do.
season, they remake the original movie. I
Yeah.
watched season 1 of Bates Motel and loved it. Watched it like 3 times. And then I got 2 episodes into season 2 and stopped.
I think
That show just dropped so quick.
I feel like we didn't have an entire episode where we just talk about remakes.
We should. There we go. There's my favorite remake.
Yes.
Psycho. Gus Van Sant's Psycho.
Wait, the Vince Vaughn
The
one?
Vince Vaughn one. I fucking love that movie.
You're gonna have to definitely.
I've never seen the original.
Really?
I've never seen.
You've never seen the
I've
original?
never seen Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I have never seen it. I've watched Gus Van Sant's Psycho like fucking 4.5
Jamie Lee
times.
Curtis's mom is in that one.
Vince Vaughn is in Gus Van
It's
Sant.
just
I
a
watched
shot
it
for
shit,
shot remake.
and it's amazing.
Oh my god.
It's so fucking
But yeah, I got pissed
bad.
off about The Lion King.
It's
Anyway.
so-
Yeah, thank you for pointing out the disconnect there.
I'm not saying it's
Anywho.
good. I'm saying I love it. It's fucking atrocious. It's horrendous.
Okay,
God, I love it.
All
It's
right.
so. It's a case study. In,
so we are over an hour right now.
So-
yeah.
I do have one trivia question.
yes.
Okay.
So the rumor of the OG car being in this one is false. So the OG fucking
Yeah, Sam Raimi's car.
is not
Yeah,
in it.
it
Do
was
you know
in-
what kind of car it is?
In this one,
What Raimi's car is?
No.
Oh.
What the car in the remake is, because it was supposed to look like the other one.
Oh.
But he was filming Oz the Great and Powerful and used it in that.
Ah.
Instead of Evil Dead,
yeah, but
where was the... Nah, that's a lot.
it's his it's his staple though. It's his car. I can get why he wouldn't want to
I
loan it out.
there were a few cars actually because there was like a Jeep and then
No, I'm just saying.
There's the shot of.
There is the shot where she's sitting on
on
the car, and it's supposed
the
to represent the classic.
I can't say.
Yeah, I do not know what it is either.
No.
I know the original classic's a fucking 73 Delta 88.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
this was a 1974 Delta 88.
See, I have it.
So it's just close enough for people to be like, wow, and then realize, oh,
See, I had a 1980s.
2 episodes in a row where we can't answer the
Oh,
trivia
I don't know any of the
question.
trivia because I'm
Yeah.
fucking retarded. But I owned an 87 Delta 88, and that thing was a beast. And then she caught fire while I was going 90 on the freeway.
alrighty. So,
That's
Screaming
a
Peach
lot.
rating.
8,
8 out of 10.
8, yeah.
I'm giving it a 9.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it about 7.
Yeah.
I'm glad now it's going for like half points, like 7.5. So
I don't like giving half points.
Thank you.
Yeah.
it does not make sense.
Like I say strong 7 or weak 7, but I don't do
Like I
fucking
can get
half
that, but
points.
like
Yeah.
half, like a 20-point scale, that's too many points. Be divisive. Like a 10-point scale, 1 through 10, or 1 through 5 with halves. That I get. I like a 10-point scale. That makes sense to me. 20-point scale just pisses me off. I'm sorry.
Alrighty. Anybody have any little final comments on the Evil Dead remake?
I'm so sorry. I derailed this one bad.
I'm not sorry. I unapologetically love it. So,
I could tolerate it.
That's better than I expected.
Tolerate it.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting to throw hands.
So yeah, no, like I did foreshadowing the last episode and everything.
I know. I was really excited for you to blow your load.
Nick and I were discussing that. I was like, man, I'm really scared that I might have to throw hands. He was like, I'm scared you might have to too. I was like, oh boy.
No, it was
Come visit me in the hospital because I'm not winning that fight.
No, it was a literal. I tried to sit there and be like, all right, like brace myself almost and be like, open mind,
And yet,
watch it again.
you like Rob Zombie.
That's another conversation.
Alrighty. Thank you very much for viewing, and we will see you another time.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. That or I'll kill Joel.
Hopefully. I might not be. I'll be dead.
Perfect.
Look in her basement.
I hate you. I don't have a basement.
Thank you.
Look
Bye.
under her basement.
Thank you for listening to a Peaches and Scream podcast. My name is Ellie, and please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe.